The following audio is intended for mature audiences and contains adult content, graphic language, graphic violence, and strong sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Fedori, everyone. My name is Tony, otherwise known as Slade. I am your DM for this wonderful evening. Tonight is going to be very special as I'm only here with two of my regular players. I'm here with the Mayhem Vote and with Hacksaw. Say hi, guys, if you can.
Hello. I come to your house, and I'm gonna flip all the dishes upside down and let the water accumulate while you wash your dishes.
I don't know if I should be scared now or.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna sneak into your house and I'm gonna lick one spoon. I'm not gonna tell you which one, but I'm gonna lick one spoon.
Gonna lick that one spoon.
I'm going to lick
Maybe
the one spoon. So this is, for those listening, this is the one episode that I'm going to go ahead and get it out before we give a recap as to where these guys are. This is the one episode.
You're getting it out already?
Huh?
You're getting it out already?
Yeah, I like.
At least buy me dinner first.
Right. This is the one episode that I spent.
That is dinner.
Oh my god. Again, this is the one episode that I spent the most time on. I spent more time writing this specific episode than any other episode that I have done so far or will do in the future, just because of the fact of the two individuals that are here tonight. That's the only reason why that I spent so much time on this. I planned for this event tonight to happen, and when you hear what they're about to go through, depending on how invested you are in these two characters alone, will determine how much you're going to enjoy the rest of the campaign. Let's just get that out in the open right now. But to not delve any further into that, we'll go ahead and do our recap. So last we left off, our three players met up with a new friend by the name of Darman, I believe is how he pronounced his name. He was looking for his family, and the players came across what seemed to be like this abandoned town with a giant circus tent in the middle of it. They go inside and find this weird trolley in the center of the arena, and it was so named Alice's Funhouse. All of our players, one way or another, managed to go inside of this funhouse, whether they wanted to or not, and were questioned by a rather peculiar gnome that was zombified, and by another individual who said absolutely nothing the entire time and just sat there and doodled on a piece of paper. The two players in question tonight, when they did their survey, managed to get to their survey to say that they need to go through the blue portal, which led to the mirror room. And that's where we are now. So, I'm going to describe the scene for you guys and tell you exactly what you see as you step through the portal, and then I'm going to have you tell me what you do from here. So, the moment that the two of you step through the portal, you walk into this brightly lit room. It's roughly about 50 by 50 in diameter, so 50 feet across and 50 feet wide and 50 feet in height. Perfectly square. The entire wall all the way around you is completely encased by mirrors. The ceiling also has a giant mirror right above you that you can look up at and see your reflection. The only space that you are currently able to walk on at this precise moment is you have roughly a 15-foot wide pathway, almost like a bridge that looks like that it's made out of marble. You can walk up to what looks to be like a 20 by 20 square in the very center of the room. But the two of you are right there at the entrance, and you turn around, the portal has disappeared. Now, the platform that you're standing on is elevated. Below the elevation, what looks to be like where you could step off even further into kind of like a little pit area, there is the most crystallized, clean, see-through water you have ever seen in your lives. This is the most sanitized, purified form of water known to you or any other individual that has ever lived in the entirety of the world. In fact, this water is so crystal clear that the moment that you came out of the portal and stepped into the room, the motion of the air from the portal as you stepped out caused the ripple effect to happen, and it didn't even last but like a millisecond before it became perfectly still all the way around again. But what do you guys do as you walk into this type of environment?
I'd like to make an Arcana check.
Okay.
I like to take a drink.
Okay, I'm going to let Rhagar do the Arcana check first, and then if that's what you want to do, then I will tell you what happens.
Sweet.
13.
13? Okay, this entire room, the mirrors, the water, everything around you is completely encased by magic. It is neither evil nor good magic. It almost feels as if it's completely neutral.
Okay.
All right, so here's my question to you, Rhagar. With you rolling that and getting that information, do you want to stop Mouse from drinking the water?
It would probably be a good idea.
So you want to stop him from drinking the water?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to make you roll for it. So Mouse, before you're able to reach your hands into the water, Rhagar puts his hand on your back and shakes his head, not as if to tell you not yet, and sees what you do from there. So what do you do as he tells you just to hold off for a minute before you do that?
I point in the other direction and go, what's that?
Do what now?
And then I continue to try to. I point in the other direction and say, what's that? What's that over there?
Roll me a deception check then. Let's see how well his deception is tonight.
6.
Yeah, Rhaegar's not falling for it. He's watching you with beady eyes.
But look at it. It looks so good.
What do you do, Rhaegar?
I'm just going to shake my head and say, not yet. We don't know what this place is. We don't even know what's going to happen if you drink that. So just hold off a minute.
No,
Yeah, so like you're still at the entrance. You're still at the entrance. The portal itself has disappeared after you step through it. You have about 15 feet before you get to the center platform that I described. So if you make your way there, you can do more of a perception check around there if that's what you guys want to do before you test out the water. But that's up to you. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go? Do you want to move to the central platform first and see more about your surrounding area, or do you want to go straight for the water?
I would like to collect some in my water skin.
Do you pick it up with your hand?
No.
Do you,
dip my
okay.
water skin in it.
I need you. I asked this specifically for a reason. I need you to tell me exactly verbatim how you get the water out, and does the water touch your skin at all?
Okay, so is there a strap on my water? Like
There is a
like
strap on your
container?
water skin. Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it submerge itself. I'm just gonna hold it by the strap and let it submerge.
Okay.
Fill up that way.
Awesome. Okay. It submerges, and you fill up your water tank.
Okay.
Do you
I
look
pick it
inside of the?
up
Do you
and-
look inside of it?
No, I pick it up and I just let it drip off. And when it's finished dripping off, I cork it.
Okay. You let it drip just a little bit, though.
I let it drip off to because I let it submerge, so I'm letting
Okay.
it drip off before I actually.
When
touch
you
it.
see the drip before you encase it, the water itself turns the blackest of black. It turns as if like there is no form of light that could go through this water. It's the darkest of dark. It's the complete opposite of this clear water.
Sweet. What happens when it drops back? When it drips back into the water?
When it
itself?
drips back into the pool, it instantly turns clear again.
Sweet. All right. So I cork it and I just put it away.
Okay. Awesome. So what do you do now?
I look at Rhagar and go, still want to drink it.
You're a bigger idiot than I thought you were.
Okay.
But at least we got a sample.
All right. So again, you're at the entrance. You have about 15 feet across this little mini bridge you've got, easily accessible to the two of you. Once you reach past that 15 feet mark, you're dead center into the room, and you've got what looks to be like a 20 by 20 square in the very heart of this room that you guys can stand on and can get a better view of the room.
I'll make my way over there.
Okay. Mouse?
Yeah, I'll get back up to my feet. Follow.
Okay. All right. So the two of you walk to the center of the room. I need both of you to roll me perception checks, please.
Ooh, that's bad. That was a 5.
Okay. I'll wait for Mouse's roll to see what he gets.
Question real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on my sheet, so I just updated my sheet with what you sent me.
Yes, sir.
My perception is a +6 on the sheet you sent me, but it's a +5 on the sheet I have.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a +5. There was a complication with the program that I was using for creating your character
I've been
sheet.
using 5.
So it's supposed to be a +5. It won't become a +6 until your next level.
Yeah, just making sure because I was like, I left it at 5 and I've been using 5, so
Yeah, it's
I meant
5.
to ask you that yesterday or last session.
Yeah, it's 5.
All right, call that out and let me roll.
All right, so we're just gonna.
I got a 13.
Okay, with a 13, you do see what I need you to see. So there's not a way to get to it without stepping into the water, but there is what looks to be like a very intricate, well-designed door across the way from you. However, there is a giant arcane chain that's basically blocking it from you, basically. And on each side of the chain, there looks to be like an orb of some kind. It looks to be like that it does something in order to release the chain, but you don't necessarily know what. But that's
So
what you
there's-
see.
So there's an orb with chains on
There's
either
two
side
of them.
this
There's
door.
one on either
Okay.
side of the door. So there's one on
Uh-huh.
the left and one on the right, and then the door in the center. And in front of the door, there looks to be like an arcane barrier that kind of looks like chains made out of magic,
Oh, okay.
and then a lock pad. But you kind of get the assumption with a 13 that the two orbs are meant for something, but you don't know exactly
Wait.
what.
when you say lock pad, like a keypad, like numbers, like
like an actual lock where you put a key in it and unlock it.
Okay.
No,
It's just added pad to that. I was like, what?
no. Okay,
All right.
but
Rhaegar,
that's
do you wanna
what
do
you
a
see
honor
so
check? 'Cause
far.
I can do I'm going to do a perception check on the orb. I'm going to get closer and do a perception check.
Do you step in the water?
No, God, no.
That's the
There's
only
water
way
around
you
it
can.
too?
That is the only way you can get to the orb is if you go across in the water.
Oh.
Unless.
Okay. All right. We're standing on a platform that's 20 feet
You're
by 20
standing
feet.
on a platform that's 20 by
Is-
20. Okay.
All right. It's a
In
square,
order to
right?
reach the door and the two orbs, you have to step off that platform and get
Uh-huh.
inside of the water.
Okay. So, all right.
Unless-
So, how many feet across is the water? And go ahead, Rhaegar.
Let's see what Rhaegar has to say first before I answer that question. So, Rhaegar, what do you have to say?
How far have we got to go before we get to the door?
Okay, so again, the square is 20 by 20. So you're
Yeah.
standing at the bottom part of that 20-foot square. So if you move up 20 feet, that's the edge of the platform. Then you have another roughly about 40 feet away from that edge before you reach the door.
So 60 feet.
So roughly 60 feet, yes.
So 40 feet is water?
40 feet all the way. No, hold up. I'm doing my math wrong. The
20
room is
feet
50 by
water,
50.
40
Hold up.
feet is solid.
No, hold up.
No, we're on a 20 by 20.
The room is 50 by
Square.
50. So minus 20,
Well, it's
30.
20 by
It's
20
30
square.
feet. Sorry, I was over by
So-
10. It's 30 feet. So when you get to the edge of that 20 feet, then when you
Uh-huh.
step off, you've got another 30 feet before you reach the door. That's my bad. I was 10
How
feet
many
off.
feet of water is it between us and the door?
It looks like that it would come up to your ankles as how deep the water
Not
is.
deep. Not deep.
No distance, Tony.
30.
Distance.
It's 30
How many
feet.
feet?
30 feet of
30
water.
feet. Okay.
Also,
What?
so the door is sitting in water too.
Not actually. No, it's more or less like, so in order to get to the door, you have to walk across this water, and then there's like it's kind of like a set of stairs almost, or like a ladder. It's like a ladder. You get up on the ladder, and then you can reach the door, but you can't get on the ladder without going through the barrier first.
Okay. I take out. Wait, Rhaegar, did you have an idea?
I was going to throw you.
Oh, well, if you want to throw something, I've still got packs. I've still got a pack of meat. I've still got meat.
He does have meat that's already
I was
rotted
gonna
by
toss
now.
like a piece of meat into the water and see what it does.
He
to
has
the
meat
flesh.
from the maze, which is
dog,
already
yeah,
rotted by
for my
now.
dog.
But yes.
that's-
not
I'm
from the maze.
surprised.
Not from the maze. It was for my dog when I got my dog.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
shit bag.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
So you're gonna throw the
That's
meat
lovely.
at the orb?
Not all of it, just a piece. I'm gonna cut off a piece of it. And chunk it
Okay.
up.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
you're
make you
gonna throw it in the
roll. I'm
water.
not gonna make you roll if you're only gonna throw a piece at it. You
Yeah.
take that small chunk of meat. You throw it at the orb. It hits the orb. Nothing happens.
No, not the orb. I threw it in the water.
Oh, throw it in the water. Nothing happens. You see the meat just sitting there.
Really? Doesn't turn black or nothing?
Nope.
Huh.
Okay, so from that makes me think that the only way that the water would turn black is if it's being removed from the pool.
Correct.
Right.
So the water has to stay in that pool in order for it to be crystal clear. So if you've thrown a bit of meat into that water and it hasn't done anything bad to it, so I'm going to guess that it's safe to walk in.
Do you want to walk in it?
It's water. I'm scared it might.
I need to know
I mean,
exactly
we are in a room
I have 40 hit
completely
points,
encased
so-
in magic. So
Okay.
You want to roll to see who sticks their big toe in first?
If that's how you want to go
Okay.
about it, do it.
Let's roll. Let's go ahead and roll. Yeah, let's roll in here.
So roll in
let's
chat
roll
to
in
see
here.
who goes
And
first.
it's like paper, rock, scissors in a way. So it's all good with me. We'll flip a coin. There's a D20. We got 12.
Oh, god damn it.
So
All right, well.
Rhagar's going
not a big
first.
piece of- just stick your toe in there. Just
Rhagar's
like a
going
tail or
first, right?
something. Just
Yeah.
barely.
Okay.
Just barely.
All right,
I'm gonna
tell-
say this very literally
Tell me
right
exactly verbatim how you go about it.
The absolute tip of my big toe touches that water.
Okay.
Of my big toe.
Okay. The moment,
That
The-
is it.
the moment that your toe touches the water, you don't feel any pain. And matter of fact, Mouse, you see everything that's transpiring here as well.
Okay.
The mirrors start to
Mr.
shift.
Stark.
The mirrors themselves start to shift. They start rotating around the room in a perfect circle. They're going faster and faster and faster.
Move your toe.
It starts to get so bright that your eyes can't handle it. So you're left with the choice of not being able to keep your eyes open. So you both close them.
Uh-huh.
You both open your eyes again, and you find yourself that your entire world is in black and white. Rhagar, I need you to roll me a perception check with advantage.
Oh, wait, hold on. So everything just turned black and white. We aren't
Your
in
entire I'll describe it more when Rhagar rolls his perception check, but I
Okay.
need him to
Okay.
roll perception with advantage.
15.
15? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to describe it for Mouse first, and then I'm going to describe it for you with your 15. Okay? Mouse, you're standing in a field. There's crops everywhere. It looks to be like somebody who is very well versed in farming owns this bit of land. It's beautiful here. You can imagine that if the entire world around you was colored, that this would be almost feel like home to you. You feel at ease being in this area. Rhagar, you're home.
Okay.
You're standing in your field. You know exactly the area you're standing at. You are standing in your crop field back at home as if nothing had happened. But your world around you, completely surrounded, is in black and white.
Okay.
What do you do?
I want to roll another perception check.
Okay.
To see what I can.
Roll it with advantage. Roll it with
I
advantage.
want to try something.
Okay.
I want to reach for one of the. I guess it's like wheat or something or something.
It would be corn. It would be corn.
Okay. I reach for one of them to see if I can actually feel it.
You can. I'm not even going to let you roll for it. You can feel it. It feels just like corn would.
Is there an opening to my left, right, or behind me, or any way? Like an
So where you're so if you can imagine a cornfield, you're standing in between the walkways of where like most farmers cut it through so that they can get through their crops easier.
Uh-huh.
You and Rhagar are standing next to one another between one of these rows. Rhagar, what did you get on your perception?
I got a 16.
Okay. All right. So what are you rolling perception for exactly?
Well, a couple different things. Time of day, what season it is.
It's summer. It's midday.
Anybody else around? Apart
Just
from
Mouse. Mouse is the only one you can see.
Okay.
Ooh, any sound?
Any
Yes,
sound?
sounds.
Yes. Rhagar, you do hear sounds, and it's coming from the north of you. And from your perception, you know exactly that this is where your house would be located at.
Okay, can I make a? Would I have to roll again to find
No,
out what
you go.
kind of
No,
house these
you
are?
go straight north, and you hit dead center where your house is at.
Yeah, but like, are you describing these sounds as like?
You're too far away to know exactly what the sound is, but you do
Okay.
hear some form of sound coming from the north, and it's
Okay.
in the direction of what you know is to be your home, or
Cool.
in your mind used to be your home.
Can I do an insight check and see if I notice his reaction right now to the sound?
I'm going to leave that up to Rhagar.
I don't know. I don't actually know.
Well, does he recognize the sound?
Yeah, no. He doesn't. He can't. He's too far away from his house to recognize what the sound is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's still close enough to where that it gets within earshot.
Well, what about an insight check on his reaction to the fact that we're home? I don't know this.
Yeah, that's what I'm
apparently
saying. I will allow you to roll that if Rhagar wants you to roll that.
Wait, so we're both back in my homeland.
Yes,
Like,
you're
I'm not
back in your
homeland.
homeland. You are both back in your homeland, Rhagar. This is your
Right,
home.
okay.
And from your backstory, you know that after what happened, this should not be here right now.
Yeah.
Your home should not be standing right now.
Yeah, sure, I'll let Mouse roll. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
All right. Can I, if I get a good one, Tony? And then
Now,
just
I'm
what I do?
depending on your role. I
Yeah.
will let Rhagar describe how he feels.
Yeah.
I will tell you whether you pass or fail. If you pass,
Okay,
I'm gonna let
describe
Rhagar
what
describe it.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
I got
damn.
22 on my inside.
That's a really good roll,
Insight.
22. So Rhagar, I want you to describe to Mouse right now what you're feeling.
Confusion that I'm back home. A little bit of remorse because judging by what I can see, even within the short space of time that we've been in this plane of existence, I already know what's to come. There's a part of me that's really glad to be back, and I'm obviously very I'm very fond of what I'm seeing, but a part of me is also very scared because I know exactly what is coming.
I look at Rhagar. I look up at him, and I'm grabbing corn and stuffing it in my bag. And I'm like, "What's wrong, big guy?"
What's wrong is you're stealing my corn.
Oh, this is your corn.
Stealing my corn, you asshole!
Oh man, I was like, I don't know. It's like I didn't know it was your corn. I just thought it was a great farmer's corn. You're a good farmer if you're making some golden corn like this. And it's like, and I'm trying to like give him like a boost of pride that he's making such great corn to kind of distract from the fact that I'm still taking more corn.
It's all right. You can
Like,
you can repay me by getting rid of that little bastard dog.
oh, it's okay. You know, we don't have it currently, but if he returns, I can't say anything because technically I already did get rid of him. So, like, if we don't return, oh well.
Okay, so knowing what you heard earlier, though, that you know
Okay,
that the sound
yeah.
is coming from the north, Mouse doesn't hear it. Rhagar is the only one that hears it. So what do you want to do knowing where the sound is coming from?
I kind of want to head towards my house.
Okay. Mouse, do you follow suit?
I could stuff one more corn in my bag. Tony, do I have to roll to see how many I
No,
got? Or can I
no.
just- how many did I get?
No, I'll say you got about 6.
6 pieces of ears of corn. All right, sweet. I stuffed the last one in my bag, and I go ahead and close it up really quickly, trying to shuffle my feet, trying to catch up to him.
Sure.
Oh.
It takes a few minutes to get to your house because again, you were quite a ways away in your field. Your field was actually rather large, to be quite honest. But it takes a little bit to get back to your house, but you finally managed to get there. It's a beautiful little cottage. It's about 2 stories high. You can see smoke coming from the chimney. You have beautiful green grass, or what you can assume would be green grass had there been color here. Flowers are growing everywhere. Your cottage is right on the edge of what looks to be like a forest area. There's a mountainous terrain to the right of where your cottage would be. far off in the distance. It's it's extremely beautiful here. But Rhagar, I need you to roll me another perception check with advantage, please.
You're gonna hate me.
Okay.
I rolled 2 nat 1s.
2 nat 1. Okay. Yeah, that's all you see then.
Oh god, ladies and gentlemen, I wish that we were doing this so that, like where you could actually see what we're rolling, because I'm rolling physical dice. But if you could see our rolls, then you would be laughing right now.
Okay, but yeah, that's all you see is just what I described. Mouse, you're not going to get advantage on the roll, but I'll allow you to roll a perception check as well.
I will actually prefer to roll an insight check and on Rhagar again for him arriving at this destination that we have.
Okay. Okay.
30-20.
Dirty 20. Rhagar, describe how you're feeling as you're walking up to your cottage.
Okay. Everything that I mentioned before, but it's a lot more intense.
Okay.
Like a lot more. Like it's all these feel all the same emotions are a lot more potent.
Yep.
The anxiety of knowing what will eventually come, because at this point in time, it's like we don't know what point in the timeline we're in, do we?
I do.
You do. Okay, so judging by
we mean we.
yeah, by we mean we.
We as the party.
You as the party do not know what timeline you're in right now.
Yes, because I don't know what point in my own history.
Which is that's also the reason I'm allowing Mouse to roll the perception now, is to also answer that question. So Mouse, if you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to.
So now that I've seen how he's reacting, I turn towards the cottage to see what's making him so.
Yeah. So roll me a perception check.
Rhagar.
Roll me a perception check.
Rhagar. Perception. 16.
Okay. To you, this is going to be strange. And had Rhagar seen this, it would have been even more strange. You see a younger version of Rhagar standing on the corner of the cottage, chopping wood.
I know it's Rhagar, though.
You know it's Rhagar. You instantly know it's him just by his features and everything. It's just a younger version of him. You also see in the windowsill on the second story floor on the left-hand side what looks to be like a little girl. In the bottom window of that same side of the house, you see you see a woman. The woman and the child are both dragonborn. But what's even stranger is that they're both in color. The daughter is a bright cyan color, bright blue, the most beautiful blue that you could ever imagine. The woman is yellow, like the yellow that you would see only when the sun is at its highest peak. But you also can tell that even though that they're of a different race and all of that stuff, that the woman herself is quite beautiful to look at, and the daughter looks happy, looks thrilled to be alive. She's playing with her toys in the windowsill, looking out into the distance of the cornfields and everything else that's surrounding her, as if she doesn't have a care in the world.
All right. Okay. So I am going to. Did I cut out or y'all?
No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay. So I am going to, comforting, place my hands on Rhagar, and I'm gonna look to him. And go, maybe we should go. knowing from his past of what he's shared with me and the group and the party, I don't think it's a good idea for him to have to relive, if it's going to happen again, him to have to relive that.
Roll me insight check then, if you're gonna say that.
16.
16. You get the like this weird sensation, this instinct almost, telling you that it's not that he has the choice to escape. It's more of lines of, in order to continue on, he has to see something in order for you to pass through. There's something here. There's something here that he's missing, and he's being forced to watch it.
Yeah, let me look. All right.
Rhagar, what do you do while he's contemplating his decisions?
Did I see any of what you just said to
No,
Mouse? Or
you rolled
no,
in
I
that
didn't see
one,
it.
so no, you don't
Okay.
see any of that. In
Okay.
order for you to be able to see that, you need to move closer and roll
All right,
again.
So I'll actually say something. I'll go. Is that your family?
Do you point them out?
Yeah.
Okay, Rhagar, he points them out for you, and I will say that with his roll, that you now can see all of that. You see your wife and your child. They are in full color, and you also see yourself, a younger version of yourself that's in black and white, and you're chopping wood outside in the corner of the right-hand side of your cottage.
Okay. I'm assuming that whilst this is all going on, we're still physically walking. So, as Mouse points that out to me, I'm gonna stop, almost as if my legs just physically decided to stop all movement on their own accord, and I'm gonna gaze into the distance, almost completely paralyzed by disbelief and just absolute shock. And with a shaky voice, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, it's my babies. It's my wife, man. It's my daughter."
Roll me an insight check, Rhagar.
Advantage or no?
Not with this one, no.
Oh, critical.
Crit?
Yeah.
So after you see what Mouse points out to you of the three individuals, you're close enough to your house that, knowing you as well as you do, you would have known that you would have noticed yourself walking towards your own house and would have said something. So it's weird that he's still chopping wood and hasn't paid you any mind, nor has your wife or your kid ran out to greet you as you're walking towards your cabin.
Okay. Oh God. Okay, so you say that I definitely noticed that. It's weird that they haven't noticed me.
Yeah, so you can see them, but it's almost like they can't see you.
Okay. I'm going to say that because this is all weird and it's all out of the ordinary, for lack of a better phrase, because I'm struggling to come up to conjure up the right words. I'm going to say that Rhagar is not really paying attention to the fact that everything bar his wife and his daughter are in black and white, and he's going to start walking, not at like full speed, but almost like he's making an effort to quicken his pace, and he's trying to get to like his actual cottage.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this question. and I want you to answer me exactly verbatim how you go about it. Do you open the door to your cabin? And do you try to walk in?
So I would have to pass my
You would
younger self. To get
you
there,
would
right?
pass yourself, and you would walk up the stairs and try to open the door leading into your cabin. Yes.
Okay. What about my wife?
Your wife is what you personally know as the kitchen. Mouse doesn't know that.
Oh, she's in the kitchen.
She's in the kitchen. It's
Right.
it's the room on the left-hand side, right below your daughter's room.
Okay. I'm gonna like sort of brush off the fact that I'm walking past my younger self. I'm going to scan my surroundings, taking in the fact that I'm back home. I'm going to run my hand up the wooden banister that's on the stone stairwell leading to the door, almost reminiscing in how it feels. That feeling of coming home again, and the brass doorknob that's on my front door, the not the coldness of it, but like it's not exactly hot despite the fact that it's a summer's day. The metal's still lukewarm. And as I open the door, I remember the heaviness of the door because there's a big, thick, solid wooden door. And I as I step through the door, the immediate entryway of the house sort of stops me in my tracks, and I'm just not quite overwhelmed about the fact that I'm back in my family home, but it's a lot to be back here after everything that has happened.
I'm going to stop you there. Mouse, do you follow behind me?
Yeah, I was going to add to that. I tailed him. I followed right behind him, but not too closely. Just kind of lazily walking, letting him get the lead, and just kind of keeping an eye on the surrounding area as he gets closer.
Okay.
But I do get up at least towards the steps.
You get to the steps at least? Okay, perfect.
At least.
As you open the door, Rhagar, the world starts to brighten up again to where that you are forced to close your eyes for the both of you. You continue to open through, and it's another day. It's still summer, but it's your daughter's birthday. You see the banners that took you several days in order to craft yourself with your own two hands. You see the balloons that your wife spent hours blowing up and having issues with because you were trying to coerce her into having some fun times. And you see all the presents sitting in the far corner next to the fireplace that you had worked tirelessly on to raise the money for in order to give her exactly what she wants. Then you also see next to the presents the one thing that excited your daughter the most, which was the fireworks that came from willy-nilly's grand fireworks from the town not too far from where you're at. You're reminded of the memory of where you took your daughter to willy-nilly's for the first time. And an old man walks down, looks very familiar to you at least, that he is an old man with giant glasses, but instead of a black robe, he wears a purple robe. And you remember that day specifically because that was the day that your daughter became obsessed with fireworks, watching this crazy old man shooting fireworks into his store, and how his insane wife was swatting him with a wooden spoon, telling him to quit doing that shit. And she's just over there in the corner laughing hysterically as if this was the best day of her life. But you walk into this scene and you see verbatim, and you know exactly what day it is, because this is the day that you remember the most. This is the day that it all ended for you. But you see, as you walk in through the door, and Mouse, you see this too, You see the daughter sitting at the table to the left of you, which would be the kitchen, and she's eating her cake. You're sitting at what would be supposed as your chair in the dining room, and you're laughing and having a great time as if you don't have a care in the world. And your wife is hugging you around your neck with all the love and care in the world for her two wonderful individuals. But what do you do as you walk in?
I'm going to stop at the doorway of they're in the kitchen, right?
They are in the
Or the
kitchen,
dining
yes.
room.
They don't see you, they don't hear you. It's as if you're not there. You don't exist. You
Okay,
see them, but they
so-
don't see you.
Yeah. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to stop at the doorway of the kitchen and sort of lean against the door frame. Taking a couple of seconds to just observe the moment that's going on. And then after maybe about 5 or 10 seconds, it's going to start dawning on me just exactly what today is. And I'm going to I'm going to try and despite the fact I know this won't work and there's nothing I can do, I'm going to try and like at least make some sort of effort to try and make them notice me. So I'm going to sit down at the opposite end of the table.
Okay.
From where my daughter Kayla would be sitting, or is sitting, sorry.
Yep.
And there's like a panicked tone in my voice. I'm saying, you guys need to go. You need to leave, like, now, please.
As you're saying that, Mouse, you at this exact moment would be walking in through the door leading into the living room as he was ahead of you. You see all that I've already described, except that half of that information you don't know personally because this is not your life. You just assume that this is a memory of Rhagar's. You do see on the banister that was described to you as being the daughter's birthday. You see "Happy Birthday, Kayla" written across in not very well written handwriting, but decent enough to make it out. But nothing in this house apart from the daughter and the wife are in color. Everything in here is also in black and white, if I hadn't already said that before. But you do see that as you're walking in, as the banister up above you says "Happy Birthday, Kayla," and you see everything else I described, and you watch as Rhagar goes into the kitchen and sits on the opposing side of where he normally would sit and starts saying what he has to say. So before I continue with Rhagar, Mouse, what do you want to do at this precise moment?
I hear him say what he said.
By the time that you reach into the living room, you would have started to hear him say what he's got to say.
To leave and to get out. What he's doing, get out. All right, so I get kind of curious. The seems that we keep flashing into more and more memories, and what I'm assuming is Rhagar's family has told me. I'm assuming is or life. So I look at my bag. Do I still have the corn?
Yes.
I get out the one of the corn and I toss it onto the table.
Okay. I'm going to say that happens at the exact same time that Rhagar is saying what he's got to say. So, Rhagar, you're speaking and trying to communicate to your family. Mouse, you tried to help with that situation by throwing the corn onto the table. They don't notice either one of those things.
Okay. I get out since I noticed that that didn't work. I get out the water skin.
Yeah.
I open it.
It's empty.
And it's empty. Wow. I put it away. I close it back first, and then I put it away.
Yep.
I walk up to where Rhagar's at, and
Okay.
that is it.
Okay, Rhagar, your daughter, Kayla, her hand is 5 feet away. She's reaching for her spoon that she normally uses in order to eat her food with. The one that you specifically made with your own 2 hands, carving it out of a cherry tree that was very special to you, that your father showed you when you were just a little boy. That cherry tree got struck by a lightning bolt and it fell over, so you took part of that cherry tree and created the toys and the utensils and everything you see here out of that one tree. So your entire house is built out of that tree and everything you see in it. What do you do?
Okay. Oh God, I can't even.
Her hand is 5 feet away.
I can't even.
You like
can't-
yeah.
I can't
This is
move.
this was a massive tree. Like Rhagar
Okay.
specifically would know this. This tree would be like the grandest of, like, it was made out of magic itself. That's how grand this tree is. It was magnificent to behold.
I
But
can't interact with anything on their plane, can I? Because if I interact with something on their plane, then it's gonna move, and then they're gonna notice that.
no, so you've already tried talking to them, and you saw Mouse throw the corn, and it did interact with their world, but nothing responded to either of those things.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna slowly extend my hand, and I'm going to pass Kayla the spoon. And as she grabs hold of it, I'm going to just gently wrap my hand around hers just for a brief moment, and then I'm going to recoil almost as if.
I was fixing to say, so I need to stop you where you grab her hand. Okay? So, the moment that you touch her hand, the world around you flashes again with a bright light, and you close your eyes as if on instinct this time, knowing exactly what's about to happen. You and Mouse are sitting in the 2 chairs that you specifically made for you and your wife. You're both sitting in them, and it's in the living room. The house is destroyed. Fire is ablazing. Everything is a wreck. Something just happened. But Rhagar, you're the only one that knows what's about to happen. You see across the way from you 2 individuals standing up, both in a cloak. One of them has your wife by the throat and is choking the very life out of her. He finally takes off his hood. You immediately know who it is, as you've already encountered him once. It's Adam. Adam stands there with a smirk on his face, and you can just barely hear the whisper of what he has to say to your wife. He utters the words, "You should have chose me," and he beheads her right in front of you. Her body slumps to the floor, and he continues to grab onto her neck, and he just stares and watches as she bleeds out. Then you see the other individual, short of stature. You don't know this individual. He pulls off his cloak. It's a dwarf. But it's not a dwarf that you've ever, it's weird because if you remember correctly in the stories, dwarves are not supposed to be found anywhere. You thought that they were extinct. You thought that they were no longer here. As the dwarf pulls the cloak off of their body, you can tell it's a female. She instantly starts to grow fangs out of her mouth. And it's the type of fangs that, if for those that are listening, it would be the same kind of fangs that you would have seen in that movie 40 Days and 40 Nights, the vampire movie. It's that same type of fangs. You see them protrude out of her mouth, and she devours your wife's corpse. Just mauls at it, drinking the blood off the floor, not leaving a single trace of what was left of your wife. And you're sitting there watching this whole ordain happen, verbatim, without a moment's notice. You then hear a cry upstairs. You know it's Kayla. The dwarf instantly reacts, as if within a blink of a notice, the dwarf disappears and runs back down. The dwarf comes back down and has your daughter by the cup of her neck. Your brother Adam looks over to your daughter, still holding the head of your mother. He shakes it in front of her as if playfully. Your daughter is crying immensely. She's wailing in tears. Your brother looks at the dwarf and says, "That'll be your snack." And as soon as those words come out of his mouth, the dwarf looks gleefully and says, "I appreciate it." He rips, or she rips, your daughter in half. Completely, utterly in half, as if like the strength of the gods was behind this demonic, evil-looking dwarf. He takes the skeleton out of her body and just drinks the blood from her corpse, and then devours your daughter and leaves nothing, not a single trace. There's a flash. Your eyes grow, the world grows bright again, and your eyes go closed, and you wake up. It's still the same night, but the two individuals are gone. You hear what sounds like a wagon coming from outside. You wait a moment. You see yourself, your younger self, walk in, and you're yelling out, "Honey? Anastasia? Kayla? Are you guys here?" You keep yelling and yelling. No answer. You continue into the living room, and you see the blood stains on the floor. Panic starts to go through your body, both in your physical body now and into the body of your younger self. You can feel his panic. Your younger self sees the note that was left for you that fateful day on the table. He opens it up and reads, and sees exactly what was left for him. It doesn't say a name at the end of the letter, but it reads, "I've come to take what's mine. It belongs to me. You're not worthy to have what I should have. I should have been the one to have been praised. I should have been the one to have loved your wife. Your daughter should have been mine. But what's not mine I shall take away from you. Everything you hold dear will now belong to me. If the day should come that we should meet face to face, I'm going to show you a darkness and the likes of which you have never seen before. You then see on the table the only thing that was left was your wife's head on a platter in the middle of the table, right where your daughter's birthday cake was at. You instantly see a flash again after watching yourself wail in pain. You're screaming at the top of your lungs, and as you watch yourself do so, another flash happens, and you're back into the mirror room. One of the orbs on the left-hand side grows red, solid red, crimson in fact, bright. And words appear above the door that simply says, when the man has lost everything. And that's all it says. Mouse, you see all of that as well. You watch verbatim, and I'm going to allow you, before we continue, to roll a perception check with advantage on the scene that you saw before with the individual known as Adam and with the dwarf. So roll insight or perception with advantage, Mouse.
I'm going to do insight.
Sure.
7.
7. I will say you're close enough to see it. But on the patchwork of Adam's cloak, you saw the symbol for the poachers.
Oh.
You saw it plain as day. You saw it as if
before the flash happened, right?
That this happened during the flash. You saw all of that. Like everything that was just described to Rhagar, you saw it verbatim, and you got a little extra on top of that. Adam's cloak had a piece of patchwork on it that had the symbol for the poachers. But you don't recognize the dwarf at all. You just were able to recognize the patch.
Okay, so
But the two of you are back into the mirror room.
Can I open my bag and see if the corn is still there?
Yes, it's not there.
It's not there. And I carefully open up the water skin.
It's there and it's pitch black.
Okay. While standing on the platform, I place a piece of meat, after doing what we did, on the ground.
Okay.
A piece of meat.
Okay.
Just a little piece. And I pour the black stuff on the meat. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Black residue pours from your wineskin and lands onto the meat. Nothing happens. The water continues to flow down as if by instinct, goes back into the pool, and turns crystal clear again.
Ha! Pick the meat back up and put it back in my bag.
Okay.
Huh. Taste.
So,
don't know what to do next.
Yeah, so what do the two of you do, knowing that after what you just saw and you're back in this room?
Rhagar check on.
Yeah, Rhagar.
God damn you, Tony.
I told you, prepare.
Oh God. Oh.
It's a dark day. Very dark day.
I want to say that Rhagar is he's knelt down. He's on both knees, and his head is in his hands, and he is just shaking like he's going through the absolute worst panic attack imaginable. For the viewers at home, just imagine if any of you have ever suffered from an extremely bad panic attack, just imagine what it felt like at its peak and then try and triple it.
So for those that are listening too, I just want everybody to know that I did warn both of my players beforehand that I had this prepared, and they gave me the consent to do this. So the feelings that they are feeling right now, that they are meant to be real.
All right, so Tony, I take out some buena, some herba buena.
Sure.
I take out red,
Sure.
and I roll up some red one,
Yep.
fire,
Sure.
and I light it up. With
Okay.
red.
I need you to roll me a wild joint surge, please.
And that would be again.
It's the 1d20 to see if it's a good or a bad, and then you're gonna roll 2d20 afterwards.
I just couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what.
Yeah, so 1 through 10 is good or bad. 1 through 10 is bad. Then 11 through 20 is good.
I get a critical fail.
You got a critical fail. You're going to get 2 bad rolls. So you're going to
You
get
son of
2.
a bitch.
You're going to get 2 negative effects. So I need you to roll 2d20 twice, and that will determine the 2 effects.
After I do this, I pass it to Rhagar. I think it's gonna 10 and 15.
So 25. Okay, that's the first
Yeah.
effect. All right.
Oh, okay.
That
okay.
you have to do it twice.
Split it.
Do it twice.
Well,
Yeah.
I did 2 d20.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but you gotta do it twice.
You gotta do that twice.
I thought the 2 was gonna
No,
be
no, no, no,
split
no,
off,
no.
like
It's
whatever this
2d20
roll-
twice.
Oh, okay. I got you. 24, 25 and a 24.
24 and 25.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to give you 25 first. And then I want to give you 24. Okay. 25 doesn't really affect you, really. But your ability to cast magic is affected. For 1d6 rounds, any spells that you cast are cast with disadvantage.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Okay. Here's the one that will affect you. I need you to roll another d20.
So many d20.
This one's just 1d20. 4. How old are you right now? How old is Mouse?
Hold on. How long, what's the time span from beginning to now?
I'm going to say you've been traveling outside of your home.
No, from the start of our campaign.
Oh yeah, it hasn't even been a full, like it's been maybe a month.
Okay, I'm 5.
You're 5?
5 years. 5 years, yes.
You are now 9 years old.
Damn!
You grew 4 years older.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so you're now 9 years old.
Oh, man. Oh.
Okay. So Rhagar, do you take a puff or you
Just
just
a second.
I'm gonna raise my head from my hands after I hear Mouse groaning in what feels like discomfort or sounds like discomfort, and I'm going to notice that he has aged
How long does that
significantly.
last, Tony? How long does that last?
forever?
Oh, that will last forever? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that
So
was just for the highway.
you instantly grew 4 years older.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Rhagar,
That's
when
not too
you
bad.
look up, after you see him puff that, he literally becomes the age of a teenager to now an adult, like a 25, 30-year-old adult is the equivalent of it.
Sweet.
Okay. I noticed the aging, and I'm gonna respectfully
Tony, do I get
decline.
taller? Do I get taller?
No.
Oh, shit! Didn't grow any.
No,
Fuck.
he didn't grow any.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh.
I'm gonna decline the offer of a puff and go, hey, I don't need to age anymore. Okay, I'm old enough as is.
As I exhale, I go, "Are you sure?" Right in his face.
You see flames come out of his mouth as he exhales.
Yeah, I'm gonna swipe away the smoke, from my face, and I'm going, yeah, yeah. Oh God, man, what the fuck is that? Jesus Christ, dude,
It'll change your life forever. You should.
I can see that. Judging by the way it's changing your life, I don't think it's the kind of change I'm looking for.
Oh,
Been
man.
thinking about cooking with it. I've never tried it before.
Okay, so with that whole scenario out of the way, again,
But
so
at least I'm relaxed now, right?
yeah, so you're relaxed. You're full on relaxed. But to re-describe the room to you, so you're back into the mirror room again. The walls are lined up with the mirror. The ceiling has a mirror up above you. You're standing in the 20 by 20 platform. You've got the water that's surrounding you. The door is ahead of you. The left sphere is lit up with a crimson light, and you see the words, "When a man loses everything."
I look at, judging by our surroundings now that I'm kind of stoned. I look at Rhagar with my glazed eyes and look at him and I go, I've never been in a room so kinky and zen at the same time. With all the mirrors, the floor, and the calm water.
I'm not even going to reply to that. I'm still traumatized by what I just seen.
I look at him and I notice that he's traumatized. I go, what? What is? I was like, "There's something on my face," and I start like patting my face, and then I'm like touching my fur, like, "Oh, it's so soft. Oh yeah, it's so soft. Are you sure you don't want any, man? Oh yeah, so soft."
Oh my God.
So he's like the comedy relief in this depressing moment for Rhaegar.
Or maybe this was not for you. Let me light another one up for you.
Oh
Maybe you would want
my God.
Do you want the?
Oh
do you
my
want
God.
this one?
I
I
knew-
show him the yellow one. Do you want the like this one? Or if that one was your go, then maybe this one is.
I'm going to respectfully decline.
Okay, more for me later.
All right.
And
In all
I
seriousness,
put
what do
it
you guys
away.
do? So it's still got the arcane wall with a chain around it. You can't get to the door.
I would like to roll an insight check on the writing. I
Sure.
know you can read it, but depending on what I roll, I will tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what like. If it's bad, then that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a bad roll.
You're going for a bad roll? Okay.
I'm hoping for a bad roll. Damn it, 22. Fuck. I get like, I'm stumbling and I'm walking closer to the writing and I get to like the very edge of the platform. I'm just like standing there and I just stop. Like, don't even, and I'm just like going back and forth. Oh, that's what it says. Oh. Now, if I had rolled bad, I would have continued on and I would have been face planted right into the water.
I'm actually going to make you roll for that.
All right. Sweet.
You're going to roll a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage
Oh, okay.
because of you getting the nat 1. If you hadn't have got the nat 1, I wouldn't have made you roll for it, but you're going to roll for it.
I didn't get a nat one. Wait, nat one for what?
The nat 1 for the wild joint surge.
Oh, the nat one. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Disadvantage, dexterity saving
Yeah.
throw.
Trying to scroll up. And it's a history. 11.
So you don't fall face plant into the water, but your foot does slip off and hits the water.
And as
you
soon as it does, I look down, and now it's, I look at the regular, I go, oops.
and as soon as the word oops happens, the same effect happens. The mirrors start to rotate, going faster and faster. It starts to get brighter and brighter to the point to where that your eyes can't handle it, so you close your eyes. You open them back up.
As it's spinning, I go, wee! Hands in the air, wee!
You open your eyes. Mouse, you're no longer high.
Damn it.
But you're standing on what you can assume is an island. There's sand. The ocean is near. I need you to roll me a perception check, mouse, with advantage.
You know what I forgot to do?
What did you forget to do?
Let me scroll down real quick because I don't even know if it's on my page. It is. Hold on. Damn it! Damn it! I forgot to use my luck points. I forgot about that. Oh well, guess I'm 4 years older. Like I just now scrolled down and was reading, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Ladies and gentlemen, for those that play D&D, this is why you read your character sheets.
Well, no, it's I forgot to move it, and because I had scrolled down, I was looking at the bottom of my abilities, and I forgot I didn't move it yet. It's still smack dab in the middle of all that jumbled mess of. Like it's all listed in like nice order, but it's like in the middle of everything. Right. So it's just like right there. You don't know.
Okay, I do need you to roll me a perception check with advantage. Yes. Though. Please.
And you said I'm not high anymore?
You're not high.
Fuck, what a waste. 11.
Mouse, you know you're home. So, what you see, Mouse, is that you're on the beach end of the island that your home sits on. You see off in the distance past the palm trees, there is a giant mountain that's structured in the very center of the island. It's the biggest mountain you have ever seen in your life, for Rhagar at least. For you, this is natural. To kind of put it in perspective for my viewers, the mountain is roughly about the same size as, I think it's Mount Rushmore. I think it is. No. What's the tallest mountain there is? I forgot. Is it Rushmore?
Everest.
Everest. Thank you. Everest. Yeah. Mount Everest. Okay. So it's a huge mountain, way up into the sky. You also see about not too far away from where you're standing is the pathway that you know very well that leads straight into the heart of that mountain. Rhagar, you basically see the exact same thing, except that you're pretty familiar with, a general map as to all the locations around, the continent that you live on, right? So it's weird that you're on an island that you know for a fact is not on any map that you know of. And the fact that you're so far away from the mainland. But you see everything else that Mouse sees. You're at the beach, you see the pathway, and in the very center of this massive island is this ginormous mountain. So what do you guys do?
Tony, do I still have the gray one? Or
yes.
A little bit
yes.
of the gray?
You still have the gray one.
I kneel down into the sand and I start placing my belongings next to me. Okay. I pull out my pouch with all of my herbs in them, and I open a secret little compartment underneath the main compartment that holds all the colors in the order from blue, red.
Before you continue, everything you see is in black and white.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what order it is.
You know which pouch it's in, but I'm just warning you now. Everything is in black and white, so just keep that in mind.
Well, I keep it hidden away.
Yeah. That's yeah.
So I remove the compartment that holds the gray, and I pull it out, and I roll it. I look at Rhagar, and I look at him after what I've experienced with him, seeing family murder the second time in front of him, and me experiencing that alongside him. I know I can trust him because of what I know about Adam being his brother, and I know that he's not a part of that whole group, not a part of the poachers. I can trust him more than I've ever trusted anybody else that I've ever crossed. I look at him. I look at with seriousness in my eyes, and I look at him and I go, "My friend, please." And I point towards in front of me. Sit.
Okay. So before Rhagar does this, I want everyone to know that what's about to happen is specifically for Mouse's background. So what you're going to see here is going to affect Rhagar later on, but it's going to affect him in a different way than what Mouse is thinking right now. So just keep that in mind. I've got plans for when they actually go to this location. So just for everyone listening right now, just keep that in mind. Rhagar, you see Mouse. This is not just any joint, Rhagar. The way that he rolls this one is it's almost like he's doing a ceremony, right? You can't hear what he's saying, but he's saying different words and what sounds like gibberish to you. But he rolls this joint up from this pouch that you never even seen him grab from before. It's just a complete mystery to you. He turns around and looks at you and he says those words and he holds the joint in front of you. What do you do?
I'm going to notice that Mouse basically pointed at where he wants me to sit, and I'm going to sit cross-legged, facing him in the sand.
Okay. Do you take it?
I get the feeling that this is going to be like this isn't just your regular joint, so I'm going to. Can I roll an insight for that?
Yes.
I feel like I would have to roll an insight for that.
Yes. Insight or Arcana, whichever one you want to roll.
Oh, they're both a +1, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Oh, 14?
14. This is not any joint that you've ever heard of. And you're pretty well familiar with all the ones that Mouse has ever smoked, and you know what all they do pretty much. You kind of get a really good feeling on that, and you know that most of the time it's just, he rolls up a regular one, doesn't even take any notice of it, and he just smokes it and it's done with. But the way that he treated this one, it's almost as if he's treating it as it's like a religious thing, as if it's like he's literally giving you a part of himself, like he's giving part of his soul to you, and he's asking you politely to take it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. Do you smoke it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be treated differently than the regular joints. So I want everybody who's listening now to know this specific joint is one of the only two that does something like this. Rhagar, Mouse is giving you the help action. So with this roll, you are going to get advantage for. Okay? I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw with advantage. And what is your wisdom modifier for Rhagar specifically at this current time?
As a saving throw?
As the saving throw, yes.
It's a +1.
+1. Add 3 to that.
Okay, so it's a +4. I just got a dirty 20.
You got a dirty 20 with the +4?
Yeah.
Okay. You see surrounding you and Mouse this arcane circle. You can't see the color because, again, it's in black and white, so you don't know exactly verbatim what it looks like, but it looks like this very intricate, very detailed arcane circle. It surrounds the two of you. You see both of your spiritual essences basically grab each other's hand and then shake as if you're greeting an old friend. And then you feel yourself like almost spiritually connected to Mouse in a way you've never felt before. And within an instant, a moment's notice, you know the exact location of where you're at. You know how to get there. You know everything about this island. You know who lives here, everything. So I'm going to relay that information to you right here and right now. And this will be a first for everybody. And you will meet these individuals at a certain point. So keep that in mind. Okay? Rhagar. The two people that you notice immediately first, within like milliseconds of you smoking this joint, you notice who Mouse worships. He has gods, or specifically one god and one goddess. He calls them father and mother, but their real names are Bahamut and Maria Del Mar. You know instinctively Maria Del Mar is the same name that was mentioned in the stories of 500 years ago, who was part of the heroes group that led the campaign to defeat Aemon in Hell. So it's weird to you that suddenly her name just pops up in your head and you know that she is a goddess. But Bahamut also triggers your memory because Bahamut is the dragon god. He is the god of justice. He is the god that wants the world to be in the purest of peace that there possibly can be. You also notice about the island itself. The island is a secret island. Only those who have access to it by individuals such as Mouse can gain access to this island. The way that you gain access to it is by doing exactly what you just did. Now, the way that you access the island, and it will be shown later on as to how this will work, but Mouse does not even know this because this is something I designed personally. Do you remember in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they were on the ship in that purgatory where they had to take their ship? You had to turn the ship upside down. That's how you gain access to his island.
Oh my God!
In order for you to gain access to this island, there's a very specific spot out into the ocean that you have to be dead center at. And then you have to smoke that joint that you just smoked, then cause the boat to flip upside down, and it will take you to this island through an arcane circle that's at the bottom of the ocean in that exact spot. That's why you never see it on a map.
You fucking weirdo. Oh, great. You gotta smoke the joint first.
That's the only way that the arcane circle works, is that I designed it so that in order for the arcane circle to activate for that individual, they have to smoke that joint. Otherwise, they drown and die.
Yeah, pretty much the joint is in my mind, and Doug knows this, is kind of like a contract, a binding contract.
Yeah, exactly. It's a contract.
It allows you to, that's why you know all of this now without me having to tell you. Because it gives you the information willingly.
But you now have access to everything that Mouse knows. You know his gods, you know this island, you know where everything's located at, you know all of the people that live here. Everything that Mouse knows, you now know.
Okay.
All right, Mouse, what's up?
Can I tell them can I throw that little behind the scenes for Maria Del Mar about who she is as a character?
Well, I will let you do that at the end of this episode if you want,
Gotcha.
Or we can save that for a Patreon thing if you want.
It's up to you. We can do it for Patreon. That's
we'll save that for a Patreon thing.
Okay, so I also want to point out, Tony, are we done with the whole ritual?
The ritual is done. He's basically signed the contract. and he spiritually, using his soul itself, signed the contract with you and is now connected to your network.
With that, I reach into my bag and I pull out what used to be my sister's crest, family crest, and I gift it to Rhagar because now I consider him family.
Do you
Even
take
though
it?
he likes to throw me at things.
Do you take the amulet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I
Rhagar.
just want to point something out that Eli's not here, and he's going to get so upset character-wise because this didn't happen to him. And he's been like on my ass.
That's why I said that this will happen again later on, because you guys will go to the island again.
Okay. In character, after receiving this amulet from Mouse, can Rhagar take a moment to like store it in a safe place, essentially, and then and then I'm gonna look him very seriously in the eyes and say, hey, if we get out of here alive, because I have no idea what the hell is going on. If we get out of this thing alive and we manage to regroup with Norbert and Darman, let's not tell Norbert about this, okay?
Oh, of course. No. Like, he would cry like a little bitch.
I'll go one step further, Rhagar. I need you to roll me an Arcana check with advantage because because of you smoking the joint and you receiving the amulet.
16.
This amulet is called the Amulet of Family. What it does is that once per day, after doing a long rest, you can gain advantage on one saving throw if you are near the individual who gave you the amulet. You have to be within 10 feet of that individual in order for it to work. But you get a 1 day use after a long rest. You can restore it to get advantage on a saving throw of your choice. So Rhagar Mouse, as soon as you finish the ritual, I will say that enough time has passed to where you can actually see what's about to transpire. Both of you know instantly who one of the individuals is. You know this individual to be Maria Dilmar. This is her before she became a goddess. You see her in her true form when she was just a child, a kid. She has her familiar with her, and she is walking next to what looks to be like an orc. But you don't know who this orc is. What do you do?
I'm going to look at Rhagar because since now he should know, and I'll know that he knows that I know that he I know. Like all the knowing.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
But we don't know who that is. So
you don't know who the orc is. You know who she is, but you don't know who the orc is.
I'm just gonna look at Rhagar and just kind of nod that way, like, as a way, like, let's follow them, because in the last session we had to follow the points of the memory, to progress through it. So it's like let's head that way.
Yep.
Okay. You get about halfway there, and they don't notice it. They don't see it. Maria nor the orc. Neither one of them sees it, but you both see it. But you see what looks to be like a weird-looking trolley coming out of the sky and flying directly towards the side of them. And he lands about 50 feet away and continues driving on with what looks to be like another familiar of a sorts that's driving the cart. You see on the cart that sits a tiefling. He's got his horns out. He's got what looks to be like, you can imagine would be red skin, but because it's black and white, it's like a lightish gray color. Maria and the orc are both in color, though. I will say that. They're both in color. You get to that point right as he arrives, and you hear the entire conversation. So Maria, being the suspicious one, asks who he is. He says, I am just a simple seller of these fine merchants. There's no need to know what my name is or who I am or anything like that. I'm just curious if you're wanting to buy any of my wares. The orc looks ecstatic. He looks like this is like the best day he's ever had. He looks up to him and says, well, what kind of wares do you have? Well, the tiefling looks back at the orc and gives what looks to you two as being a suspicious smile. And to them, they don't notice it. But he says, well, I've got something very special. So I have this deck of cards here. If the two of you would be so willing to draw a card from this deck of cards that I have, then whatever it gives you, I'll give you off my trolley for free. So both of them look at each other, and the orc looks down at her and says, can't hurt me any. It's just a card, right? Maria looks suspiciously, as she would always do. And Rhagar, you would know this now, but she doesn't speak with her lips. She speaks with her mind. She has no tongue. But she doesn't speak with a female voice. She speaks with a male voice. And you would know this because of the fact of her story. So to kind of explain that a little bit better, so Maria was possessed by an unwilling spirit who died in a different world in a very awkward way. And when he died, he met a goddess. This goddess made fun of him for the way that he died. So him being insulted by this, he in turn insulted her. Because of what he did, instead of blessing him with what she was going to bless him with, she cursed him. His curse was that he was to remain into the body of a female child until the end of his days. What she didn't realize was that later on, she would end up becoming immortal by becoming a goddess. So in a way, the goddess blessed him by cursing him. But this individual possessed this child, and the child was mute. So the only way that they could communicate was through telepathically. And it was also through this that she gained the ability to cast magic and was able to summon her familiar. Her familiar being very special in this world, because depending on the type of familiar that she summoned determined the type of damage, per se, that she could do. So, for example, fire would be one familiar, ice would be another, so on and so forth. But again, going back to what happens, you hear the voice of the male coming from her mind saying, I don't feel right about this, but if you say that this is fine, then me and you will both do it. They each pull a card. So the card that Maria sees, it's a picture of a star. She was given the wish card. This card allowed her to make any wish that she so wanted. Anything she desired, she could get it within an instant. The card that the orc pulled was also a wish card. They both looked at each other and smiled and knew exactly what they had just been handed. The tiefling looks at the two of them and says, well, I wish you good fortune, and may your days be filled with bliss and with coin. And you see him right off, never to be seen again. Maria and the orc both look at each other, and you finally hear Maria say his name. And I have to pull up his name because it's been forever since I've said his name.
Hashtag unprepared DM.
Right. Rhagar. Rhagar, the orc fighter. So Rhagar stares down at Maria and says, well, what should we wish for? Maria states that she simply wishes for a world to where that she could have the fluffiest of animals to cuddle and take care of all the days of her life. The card disappears and something happens. The island you're currently standing on changes. You hear what sounds like voices coming from a far off distance saying stuff like, what the hell is this? What's all this mess? Why do we look like this? What in the world is going on? You see an individual run out of the forest, and this individual looks like a mouse folk. He runs out and says, Maria, what the hell just happened here? Maria looks around, and mentally, they're confused. But what you see is her have the brightest, largest grin on her face. She just wished for everybody on the island who had currently already lived there to become the first animal folk. She turns back around and looks at Rhagar and says, with her mind, of course, with the male voice, says, so what are you going to wish for? He looks down at his card and he doesn't say it out loud. He does not say his wish. He thinks about it. The card disappears. The entire island is suddenly surrounded in darkness, covered in pitch black. Below Rhagar's feet, you see what looks like to be an arcane circle. You can see the color of this circle because it's under Rhagar. It's a bright crimson red. Mouse, I need you to roll me a perception check. Actually, both of you, because Rhagar, you did smoke the joint. I need both of you to roll an insight check with advantage.
Thirty 20.
Okay. I'll wait for Mouse. So what did you get?
13.
Okay, you both see it. The symbol in the very center of this arcane circle is the symbol for the poachers. You would not know this, Mouse, because this was before your time. But the symbol for the poachers was originally the symbol for hell. Rhagar instantly is devoured in flame. He is encased in it. You cannot see him. You hear nothing but screams of agony, pain, distraught. The flames dim down, and Redgarm steps out. But it doesn't look like Redgarm anymore. Instead of the green skin with the smile on his face, with the bright blue eyes that he had, as if with innocent eyes, his pupils are now red, solid red. He has grown impish wings, about the same size of what you would imagine is the same length as an angel's wings. His skin is gray, charcoal gray. He looks with a malevolent look down at Maria and utters the simple phrase, "I have always been jealous of you," and then disappears. You see a flash go before all of the both of you. A bright light surrounds you, and your eyes cannot handle it anymore, so you close your eyes and you open them back up again. You're in hell. You're standing before a throne where the individuals that you know from the stories, known as Zelanthia, Maria Del Mar, you see all of them standing before this throne. You also see two individuals standing at the throne. You see Aemon, and you see Redgar. Both are standing at the throne. You watch as the entire fight goes down. It was a beautiful battle. Magnificent to watch. Rhagar, this fight was so well rehearsed, it puts a tear in your eye. At the end of the battle, you see Aemon and Redgarm defeated. Aemon simply looks at Redgarm and whispers something, and Redgarm disappears. Aemon turns back to Zelanthia, the human paladin, the leader of this group, and says, "Before you make the final blow, let's make a deal." And then you see a flash happen again. Your eyes cannot handle the flash. Your eyes close. You open them back up. You're back on the island. Mouse, you see yourself running down that same pathway, heading towards a boat. Maria and Bahamut walk out, and they bid you adieu. They give you their hugs. Maria kisses you on your cheeks. Your actual mom comes out and greets you as well and gives you your backpack with the gun and bids you safe travel. So I'm going to pause for a second. Maria's okay. Do you want to ask that now?
Well, no, I was going to point out, because I know that what we watched, it was something that I guess we didn't know anything about. We just kind of heard stories about.
Yeah,
before.
basically, yeah.
And so now, though, this is my story of when I first leave for my adventuring.
Yes.
Okay, so over that course of time, from then to now, can you give a description of...
This is 500 years after that event. So when you were standing in hell, that was 500 years ago.
Yeah.
This is the present
time.
time.
Not for me.
Not for you.
People listening.
So when they went to hell and saw the events that transpired between the heroes and Aemon and Redgarm, that was 500 years before Mouse's time. Okay. So this is roughly about, for you, 3 to 4 years ago. Okay. This is when you got this is when you got ready to set out on your journey.
Like 2, but I look like I'm
2, yeah, I'm sorry, 2. So yeah, my apologies. So 2. This was about 2 years ago when you set out for your journey. Again, Maria and the gnome that are actually Bahamut comes out to give you their farewells and blesses you on your journey and hopes for your safe return. Your mom and your other siblings come out and they greet you as well and hope for your safe return. But you notice something you didn't notice before. In this scene, your mom's pregnant. You didn't realize that before, but your mom's pregnant. You can assume after the events that transpired to you already that this was the sister that you never got to meet.
Can I walk up to my mother and put my hand on her belly?
You can.
Okay, I do that.
Okay. You do that, a flash happens once more. You feel right before you leave, you feel the presence of your sister, and you're overwhelmed with pure love to the extent of which you have never known. You reappear, and your hand is still outstretched towards where your mother stood. And there's nothing there but the empty mirror room that started all of this. You turn back around expecting something to happen, and it does. On the right-hand side, the sphere glows a bright blue. The words that went above with Rhagar stated, "When a man falls, then the writing underneath in blue, so shall a friend help them back up." The arcane door disappears, and you're left with a bridge that leads back through the door. The words shift. When a man loses when a man loses everything, so shall a friend help them regain what they lost. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. But the words shift, and they reappear into the form of a sign, and it says the next room is called the Round Table. So what do you guys do? You're standing there, Mouse, after touched your mom's belly, felt what you just felt. You got a glimpse into the events that transpired with Maria and Bahamut to an extent. And you got to briefly see your sister once before you're brought back.
Well, at this point, I'm crying, but I'm holding my tear, like I'm holding my head away and sniffling, because I don't want Rhagar to see me being less of a man than I am.
Perception.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll.
That is a 17, my good friend.
You notice him crying.
So what I'm doing is I'm over here like trying to like conceal it, but it's no good, you know. Like I'm just like, you see my tail flicking around, like, and I'm blowing my nose into my poncho, you know, just trying not to give away that I'm so upset right now.
You notice all of that, Rhagar.
Can I give him a bear hug?
That's up to you, and
you have no consent.
you have no consent. Don't touch me!
Don't touch me! Don't look at Rhagar's like, it's allergies! God,
it's allergies!
I got smoke in my eyes, man!
Okay, but yeah, so
burning in here.
I was burning something earlier.
God, man, they just burned something.
There is a bridge leading up to the door now with a sign above it that says the round table.
Look at Rhagar. Progress any much like before I move any further. I look at Rhagar and I go, any ideas? Because I don't want to like alert any other like weird ships.
Perception.
Okay.
Ow. Well, that hurt. That's a 6.
Yeah, you see a bridge, a door, and a sign.
Well, congratulations, DM, for setting a 6 as, yeah, you already know. Door, bridge, stairs, sign.
Gotcha. I look at Rhagar. I'm just like, right, okay, obvious, cool. I turn back around, and I carefully move closer.
Do you step on the step?
Yes,
The moment you do,
I do.
you hear the voice of a woman. You both hear it.
She hot?
No.
It's Alice.
You hear hear the most sinister laugh from a woman you have ever heard. It sends chills.
Sinister life can be hot, man.
It sends chills down your spine as to how sinister this sounds.
Rhagar's gonna hear the sinister laugh and go, "Oh, hey, mom."
She laughs and says, "So how did you like my mirror room?"
How about I break every mirror in here and shove the shards up your ass?
She laughs maniacally and says, "Well,
I get my eyes wide and I look at them like, the fuck, man? Because I'm the one that's close to her.
she laughs, and you hear her respond back and say, "Well, you know, this is all for the master in the end, right? You know, he's the one that dictates all of this. I'm just the one that likes to have fun. I like to have lots and lots of fun. And watching you two miserable souls go through all of that was the most fun I've had in a while."
I look at her and I ask her, so who's master? Are you just like submissive?
"Oh, no. It's not time for me to reveal the master yet. That's with all in due time, you know. There will be a moment that if you survive this, we'll get to meet the master."
Well, it depends on how much more I smoke and age.
She laughs along with you, but she does so in like a creepy kind of way. But she says, "Well, all you need to do to find out who the master is, though, is continue on to the next room. And by the way, when you go to this next room, your friends will be there, along with some special gifts that I have laid out for you. Remembering certain aspects, if I do say so myself."
Tony, question. Is
Yeah.
she like some kind of weird projection or something?
No, she's you hear this in your head.
Oh.
No, she's not actually there.
No,
Okay.
she's not. You don't see her. She's talking to you in your head.
Okay.
Well, there goes me trying to kill her by shoving shards of glass up her ass.
I was gonna do something too. I was like, fuck it, I got all my luck points.
I was gonna roll initiative.
No, you can't see her. This is all happening in your head.
I was hoping to kill somebody in this session.
I look
but,
back
you
at
know.
Rhagar and I look at just like the villain, too scared to come out because they're scared of a little mouse.
Do you say that, Mouse?
Yes.
You say that verbatim. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you done fucked up now, boy.
Ooh, wisdom 3.
That's a -3.
15?
You're gonna take half.
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, for you sitting at home, what Tony didn't tell you was that Mouse is going to take half of 10d10.
Half of 4d6 actually.
So that's 2d3.
No. Oh shit. 5, 10, 15, 16. You'll take 7 damage. Psychic damage. You
Wait, did
feel
you
like
just say 16 and then half it and get 7?
It's 8, Tony.
8. Yeah, 8. You take 8. You take 8. I can't count. I can't do math. You take 8 psychic damage. You feel like as if you're having the worst headache of your life.
I look back at Rhagar and I go, like, see, this is like your brother when he was in that one room with us. Too scared to show his face, to show up. He's got to use powers from another place because he can't handle being in the same.
Oh, you mention his brother and you go, oh, you mean Adam?
Oh yes, Adam. He was much better than you. I'm like, oh my gosh. He even said he was.
I mean, it's funny you should mention him because having worked with him for as long as we have, it seems like that he's honestly stronger than Rhagar, if I do say so myself. It seems like that not only is he smarter, but stronger than him too.
Oh,
DM, do I have anything? Do I have anything in my possession that I can throw at Mouse from a distance?
Why do you want to throw?
Because I want to throw something at him and call him an idiot.
Are you trying to kill Mouse?
No, not like that. I mean, just like a small rock or,
Oh, I have
something.
rocks.
Oh, God damn it.
Let me toss one to you with my sling. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. No, I look at her and I go, oh, you must not be very smart either, considering that I said that he was stronger than you. Referring to Adam, because I did say that Adam was stronger than her.
Oh, I have no doubt of that, actually. He probably very well is stronger than me.
See? It proves my point. She's hiding. And look back at Rhagar.
Rhagar, what do you want to do as you hear her basically say that you're weak and unintelligent compared to your brother?
Also, Tony, can I use that phrase as a intimidation?
Towards her?
Towards her.
You would do it at disadvantage.
To try to get her riled up.
You would do it at disadvantage, but yes, you can do that.
I would like to use a luck point to kind of balance it out.
How many luck points do you have?
I have 3. I haven't used any.
You have 3? Tell you what.
3.
If you use 2 luck points, I'll let you do it at a regular roll.
Sweet, and then I'll use the last one for advantage?
No.
Nice try.
I'll just re-roll with the last one then.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, use 2 luck points to make it a standard roll, and if you want to re-roll that roll with your last luck point, you can do so.
Cool, I'm glad I did that. Holy shit.
Yeah, aren't you glad? For those listening at home,
I'm definitely not keeping that.
For those of you listening at home, what? Oh,
I'm
God.
at an 8.
Oh, God.
So you no longer have your luck points.
Yeah.
Okay. She laughs in her very evil laugh that she does, and she says, "It's funny coming from a short little piece of shit like you. This like your very existence almost disgusts me, quite frankly." It was quite a very good deal having, made our partnership with the poachers.
So basically, what you're saying is that woman just cast vicious mockery on
Basically,
Max?
yes. Yes. Actually,
she rolled like a 19 or something.
Well, see, here's where I was about to say that's actually what I just did to Mouse. So, so it's funny that you actually knew exactly what that was.
Who doesn't know what vicious mockery means? Does that mean that she's a bard?
You don't know that. But I need you. think it's a wisdom saving throw. It's either wisdom or charisma. I can't remember.
Okay.
Let me look it up. I think it's wisdom. Yeah. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw again with disadvantage.
Me?
No,
No,
Mouse.
me.
Oh, okay.
It's directed towards me.
Oh, dude. Why couldn't you have rolled that?
It can
Why
only
couldn't-
get lower. Actually, I can get higher too.
You can get higher. I'm hoping you do. Oh, shit!
So
Wow.
I rolled a crit, but I
Okay.
have to go with the 17, which gives me a dirty 20.
Gives you a
Either
dirty
way-
20. Okay.
Either
So
way, it's
I will say because of how well you rolled that, it has no effect on you whatsoever.
boom. So how do I react to that? How would I, as a character, react?
How would you react as a character?
With the roles that I had, yeah. How would I? Just give me an idea, and I'll try to play it.
Like you basically think that her insult was like at the grade level of like a 3-year-old compared to what you've done before in insults.
I look at. I can't look at her. I look around the room and I go. It's like I didn't realize they let little children for such an advanced group as the poacher.
Oh, I don't actually work for the poachers. We work.
The adults need to
with
do
the
some work,
poachers.
and I continue forward and ignore her.
Okay, I need you to roll me another wisdom saving. This is the one that you took before with the damage, the half damage.
19.
You will take half damage again. 4d6. Quit making me have to pull these dice out.
I'm making you work tonight, Tony. There
5,
was no action.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19 rounded down would be.
Did you say 19?
It would be rounded down though, so wouldn't it be 8?
No, it would be 9.
Would it be 9? Because I'm
Yeah,
rounding
because half
down.
of 18 is 9, and you have to round up, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. 9.
Wait,
Okay,
hold
yeah.
on, hold on. Would it be 9? Hold on.
I think I thought it was
Not 10?
rounded down.
No, it'd be 10. Or are you rounding up or down?
I thought rounding down.
Oh, you're rounding down. Oh, okay, then it would be 9, I think.
It would be 9. Okay, you're gonna take 9.
Because half of it would be split between 10 and 9, and if you're going with the lowest, it would
Yeah,
be,
I'm going with the lowest. So
9.
you're going to be taking 9 psychic damage.
What is Rhagar thinking right now?
That you're an idiot.
Oh, dude,
I still want a response from Rhagar as to what I stated earlier because I insulted you
yeah.
too.
Oh, that's right. He insulted you as well. Said that your brother was smarter than you and more powerful.
Smarter, stronger, better.
Yeah, in every way. And considering what we just went through, that's why I'm acting all like I am.
Okay. Well, you were going ahead with your reactions, so I was just like, I was just
now
letting
it's
you
your
do your
turn if
thing.
you want.
Yeah,
it's your
go
turn
for
now
it.
if
It's
you
your
want.
turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'm gonna sort of like do a 360 turn and like try and analyze where the voice is coming from.
I thought he was gonna go. I'm gonna do 360 turn and no scope.
Hey, you want to see a trick here, boys? You want to see a trick?
You want to see a trick?
No, I'm gonna try and find out where the voice is coming from and go. You know, it's kind of funny because Adam had the chance to fight me face to face like a man, and he bitched out. He bitched out by destroying an entire building, killing thousands of innocent people
Oh,
just to get to me.
oh,
And
so
that's my favorite point of like nodding like.
so you want the
Good.
answer to why he did that? Oh, okay, I see. So you're curious about that. That's because the master.
I'm gonna cut her off. I'm gonna say, "Bitch, did I ask your opinion?"
I need you to roll me a I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, Rhagar. And I have to pull out these damn dice again.
That would be an 18, my good sir.
You're gonna take half. I am rolling very high
The
tonight.
barbarian tries to fucking piss off the unknown character.
You're gonna take 6 psychic damage.
Oh shit! I should have gone into rage, and it would have been. That would have gone halved again. Okay.
No, it's psychic damage. You would take.
You still take psychic.
Psychic is the only one you're not.
The only one you're not. Yeah, it's the only one. I remember that. I got that written down.
No, because one of my levels gave me something, didn't it?
No.
Oh?
No.
No. The last, not this past one, but 4 gave you it was you can drink a potion as a bonus. And
yeah, you can drink a potion as a bonus action, basically, is what you got.
You're the only one who can actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so we all have to use actions in order to drink potions.
But anyway, so as you feel stunned, she says, I tire of this conversation. If you would like to find out more about your brother and what's really going on, I guess you're just going to have to find me. And then you can feel her presence leave from your mind, and you're still left with this door.
I look at Rhagar and go, I hate Titans.
All right, so what do you both do?
I'm already moved forward. So originally I was stepped on the steps, and that's when we hear the voice. And then I moved forward when I was.
Yeah, so you basically can continue on now. You can go straight to the door.
Where am I at exactly in the room?
You're heading up the stairs towards the door.
Okay, so I'm not completely up the stairs.
Okay, so do you guys want to go up the stairs and through the door?
yes.
Okay. Well, you guys, after this trying time that you just experienced in the mirror room, you made it out safely to a degree, and you make your way towards the door.
Heading towards the room known as the Round Table. And that is where we will end our session.
What's going on, everybody? My name is the Mayhemville93, and I play as Rhagar, the Dragonborn Barbarian, over here on the Dirty 20 podcast. If you'd like to see more of me, then feel free to head on over to my streaming channel, twitch.tv/themayhemvote93. As well as that, you can always check out my own tabletop role-playing podcast, Guardian Down, on YouTube. The channel name is the exact same thing, just without the 93. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had a great time creating it for you, and we would love to hear some feedback down in the comments below.